Hello.
How's it going, Josh?
Good. How are you?
Doing great, man. Looking forward to talking to you and getting into the new album and tour and everything.
Awesome. Yeah, me too.
Let's start with the album, man. I'm always interested in how albums are made these days. I mean, you've been around a long time. The traditional sense, you go lock yourself in the studio for 6, 8 months, hunker down, write the album, record the album, and then it's done. And then COVID kind of taught us, well, there's many other ways to do it. And especially with how busy you are touring and just having put out the EP in 24, talk to me about writing the new flesh. When did you kind of get working on this and did you do it in little chunks because of all the touring?
Yeah, I mean, I always describe writing for us like spinning plates when you just kind of got tons on the go. So I have like a folder on my computer with maybe 20 to 30 projects, and each project or folder is a song. One song might have just one riff and I can't finish or get anything around it, but it's there as an idea. One song I might have had for 2 years and it's like almost done, it just needs one tweak. So that's just a constant process. There's no it's time to write for us because I put a lot of well we because we it is collaborative put a lot of attention into detail into our music, and we really want it to be as good as possible, so that just takes time. So we're writing all the time. So our record came out on last Friday or a week ago, just over a week ago,
Yeah.
and we were on tour before that for 5 weeks across Europe and the UK, and we were writing on tour even before the album's out, just
Wow.
like let's see how many songs we can get. And just to give you, yeah, a bit of context, we had like maybe 15 songs that we went into the studio with and recorded all of them. And then we cherry pick like just the ones that we think should make the record. And that's what we did the previous record. And the songs that got left off was the Path EP.
Ah,
And some of those songs are my favorite songs. And it wasn't that they weren't good enough. It was just that they
weren't done
just
yet?
fitting the album. No, they had to fit the album. They had to the running order. What does the album have? What does it not need more of, or whatever. So yeah, it's like the writing is constant, and then we booked the studio. We'd already had this tour that we've just completed locked in, so we had a bit of a deadline to work towards, and we booked the studio just for August, just gone, and 2025. And some of the songs, they're all finished to a passable degree, but they all got, or at least half of them got rewritten in those last 2 weeks before getting in the studio. Just the real
Wow.
pressure of being like, these could be so much better, and really just trying to think like, what's going to elevate the song, or what's something that we could do that's going to surprise people that we haven't done before, but is also going to be really cool, and just really forced the best out of us, I think. I don't really like that pressure. As I said, like writing takes a lot of time for us, and I want to always spend a lot of time doing it. But I think this is the first time we've ever booked the studio where some of the songs weren't really finished to a
Mm.
high enough standard, and then they it far exceeded, I think, the usual standard for us because of that pressure.
Talk about it being a collaborative effort. This is also Connor now on going from bass guitar and Ben's first album in those positions.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Ben, he brought in, a bunch of ideas and songs. And one of the singles that we have, the last one we put out on the day of release called Spared from the Guillotine, was one that he brought into the band. And like that front half of the song is all him. And it's cool because it's very, the ingredients are very Sylosis. It's thrashy, it's death metal, there's a lot of groove. But it doesn't sound like anything we've done before because it's come from Ben, and he's, injecting his own stamp on things. So that's cool.
Yeah, I love the album and I love in this day and age, it feels like everything is so like segregated. It's deathcore, it's this, it's that. Where like I feel like Sylosis is just gonna be metal, man. It's just gonna be a
Yeah,
good heavy metal album. Like I don't have to get trapped in those subgenres.
100%. Yeah, I always, even from when we started, and when we started, we were, in the tail end of the new metal era, and when we were just little kids listening to Slipknot, and then we got really into death metal. But despite wanting to be really heavy and intense and extreme, we always wanted to just be a metal band, like where I saw bands like Machine Head, Pantera, Lamb of God, or Chimera, that middle lane. And I've said this so much recently, but it feels like there's just a huge gap in the metal world, that there's no bands filling that spot.
Right.
There's so many. There's the scene is incredible. There's so many bands that I love in various different subgenres and categories. But there's very few bands making music in that just metal style, which
Yeah.
is kind of just odd to me.
It feels
Yeah.
like everything's either like poppy and uh, I'm I'm a radio guy, I should say, radio friendly, and then you have like the extreme, and it's nice that there's some middle ground. And you had kind of mentioned you could definitely feel the Pantera. You guys listen to a lot of Pantera while writing this one.
I mean, whilst growing up, yeah, I mean, this record for me was all about rediscovering like the roots, not rediscovering because I always listen to the same old stuff, but trying to capture what it was that we wanted to be when the band started, when we were just tiny little kids in the year 2000, just wanting to, we were listening to a lot of Pantera and Slipknot and Cannibal Corpse and whatever, and we wanted to be like super heavy and just like I feel like we lost a bit of that edge to our music as we got better at our instruments, better at writing songs. I feel like it got a little bit too sterile for me. So
Hmm.
just trying to bring back some of that youthful, primal rage.
Speaking of the sounds, the drums sound amazing on the record, man. They really jumped out to me, especially like the ride cymbal. I think that was kind of the Pantera kind of influence I was talking about, where the drums on every Pantera record sound amazing, and the drums really kind of jump out at me on this record.
Cool. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Is that something you spend a lot of time to come naturally?
Yeah, no, I spent a lot of time mixing, and admittedly, I missed the deadline to hand the record in because the record was supposed to be out before this tour that we just did, and I was just tweaking stuff too much. Yeah, Ali's an incredible drummer, so the drum sounds, I need to make sure they really showcase what he's doing. Yeah.
And your voice, man. I mean, everything from the clean to the heavy, and I almost found like you found this like middle gear, almost kind of like a I don't know what the right I was trying to think of the right way to phrase it. Maybe
Like a
like a
pitch scream, yeah, it's to a degree, yeah.
yeah, there's like this whole like third voice going on now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I definitely feel like I've on the last two records really stepped up as a vocalist, and I have to credit the band's manager, Adam Foster, a few years ago, just being like, you need to put more effort into your everyone is not a guitarist, and they might not necessarily be listening just to the riffs like you do, and like people connect with your voice, and it needs to be the forefront. And I was just trying to get better anyway at the time, but it really made me think about, oh yeah, I really need to make sure the vocals are on point.
It sounds great, man. The
Thank
album
you.
is amazing. I mean, yeah, like the Spirit from the Guillotine, one of my favorites on the album. Laceration, so many good jams. I'm excited to see and hear some of these live. We got you coming to our neck of the woods, going to be at the Glasshouse, the legendary Glasshouse, along with Bleed from Within on Saturday, April the 25th. How many of these new songs are you fitting into the set?
I don't want to give too much away, but no, I think there's probably at least four or five new songs, yeah. And we're doing a main support slot, so we got a long set on this one. We've done a lot of tours in the States where we've like, opened up or been on second, so this is good to be. We've done a few headline shows in the States, but this is like a solid run of like playing a long set. So yeah, a bunch of new songs, and then we'll mix it up for the rest.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Figured 4 or 5 with it being a new album out and and being direct support and getting 45 minutes an hour or whatever it may be, and hell of a tour, man. You guys and Bleed from Within, their new album Zenith is killer.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, I mean, obviously, some people may not know that we share a drummer with Bleed from Within, Ali,
Ah,
and so it'll be like both bands on a bus having a good time. Both from the UK. They're from Scotland. We're from England, and yeah, that'll be yeah, the UK taking over America tour.
that's why I keep thinking about all the different accents that there's going to be backstage.
Yeah, yeah. I can't wait to see, you know, like people that work in these venues trying to understand what Bleed from Within is saying. Because I mean, I struggle sometimes. I'm like, do an impression of me when you say that, so I can understand. And they're like, "Hello, my name's Josh." But yes, and then also there's Great American Ghost, who've I think East Coast. I don't know specifically. Are they New Jersey? But anyway, I've met those guys a bunch of times. Great band. And then Life Cycles from Texas, who are
Yeah.
like crossover thrash kind of Pantera. Very good band that we're really trying to push.
Whole lot of accents.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm curious, man. You've been touring for a long time. When you come through Southern California, is there any like must-haves, like anything you need to eat or drink, Mexican food,
I
craft
mean, yeah,
beer, anything?
Mexican food 100% because it's non-existent in the UK to a decent standard. Like it's bad, and it's my favorite cuisine to eat, or it's up there with Indian food for me. And it's so good. I mean, yeah, California, you know, it's a good place to be for Mexican food. We've definitely found spots like, across the country, but California, you're going to get some good burritos and stuff. And we were in San Diego last April, and
Right.
great stuff there. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you taco or a burrito guy? Do you have a preference?
Oh, dude, all of it. I'll mix it up. I might do two in one session
Or do
just
you have a
to
favorite meat?
make
Are
the
you
most
more
of
of
it.
a favorite meat, a carne asada guy, a pollo guy?
Well, this is where it's kind of interesting because I'm vegan, so
Ah,
it's a little trickier to find the really good stuff. There's definitely a few like vegan specific places I've been to, specifically in San Francisco. But yeah, no, I mean, there's always something. I'm just happy with just the flavors if they've got some good like house made salsas and stuff, and yeah, I'm easily pleased.
dude, I appreciate all the time, Josh. The last couple of things I wanted to hit you with, man. Uh, Loved the albums that you put out with Architects, and kind of wanted to remember Tom a little bit and talk about what kind of guy he was. I mean, I feel like that's how we keep everyone's memory alive, is to continue to talk about them and talk about Tom and what kind of dude he was and how you guys bonded. What metal did you guys bond over back in the day?
Yeah, I mean, Tom was incredibly funny, super funny, super dry sense of humor, extremely intelligent, and yeah, just like someone who I really looked up to from, just like their approach to songwriting and stuff. And yeah, we first met like must have been 2005 or something, like super, probably still in our teens. He left a comment on my MySpace page saying, I love your band or something. I was like, I love
Wow.
your band because I think I'd only just been turned on to them. So yeah, great band. And I think back in the day, these influences were maybe a little bit more easy to hear. I mean, there's a lot of Dillinger Escape Plan in their very early stuff in their first like demo, but yeah, Tom was into stuff like Decapitated and stuff. That's one of my favorite bands. And he was someone that, like me, maybe from a different angle, but liked various different heavy music. So I like predominantly death metal and thrash metal, but I've always listened to hardcore. Whereas he was into, like Dillinger Escape Plan and Cult of Luna and loads of hardcore and stuff, but as well as Decapitated and the metal I liked. And it's kind of rare or can be rare to find people that have like a wide understanding of all that, different heavy music in general, let's say.
Yeah.
So yeah, but he was definitely had his own unique sound especially when it came to writing riffs and the tunings that he used and the way he wrote stuff. Yeah, very unique.
And good to hear that he was a bit of a jokester too.
Oh yeah, yeah, very very funny
And just a bummer that he's not around to see the success that they're having right now. I mean, they're really blowing up these days.
for sure. Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's sad.
Well, dude, I appreciate the time. Last thing I got for you, man, I need your help with this. We're an old school radio station. You mentioned thrash, so we're going to talk some thrash metal here. We're an
Cool.
old school station. We do a feature called Mandatory Metallica every night at 10 p.m.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I've been having this little, yeah, we're in the hoodie. I've been well, maybe this will give it away, but I've been having this debate with my buddy, and we're coming down on opposing sides on their best album. And it's coming down to Ride the Lightning versus Master of Puppets. If you had to pick
Yep.
one out of those two, which one would it be?
It's a tough one. I think Ride the Lightning is a very, for Metallica, maybe not underrated, but I think when you really listen to it and, put it on, like it really does hold its own. So I'm wearing a Ride the
I
Lightning
know.
hoodie. So I want to say Ride the Lightning, but ultimately for me, just due to pure nostalgia and it being the first one that I got, I'm going to go Puppets. But I think it's a very, very close draw.
It is, and that's what makes it a great debate. I come down on the master side too. It just sounded better, from
Yeah,
the get-go. I mean, sonically,
yeah,
and
yeah.
to
I
be
mean,
able to have,
Justice is up there for me. I mean, the Blackened, probably my favorite Metallica song, probably their heaviest. You know,
I was gonna say, do you want to pick a song for Mandatory Metallica? But I think you might have just done
Blackened.
that.
You
Blackened.
know, I don't know. Like, I don't know how long that one is. If how
Don't
long the
matter.
radio show. Okay, cool.
Don't
Let's go.
matter.
Blackened. Blackened.
Yeah.
It is.
Dude, that was the
That's
very first Metallica song I ever heard. My friend's sister was blaring it down the hallway, and I just heard like this fade in, and then it kicks in, with the drums and everything,
so
and I
good.
was like,
Yeah.
"What is that?" And ran down the hall to figure out what that was.
I remember I'd heard Metallica and I think I had like The Unforgiven 2 as a CD single. So I was very familiar, but I when I got into Slipknot, I remember showing my older sister's boyfriend at the time Slipknot and the song Sick. And I was like, listen to it. They got these percussionists going digga, 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 with their hands. And he was like, no, 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 that's double bass drum pedal. And then the next day he gave me And Justice for All, which I still have his copy of. I stole it. And and then like I was like, oh, it's double pedal and like that break in
One.
Blackened with the kicks.
All
Oh,
right.
and on one as well, of course. Yeah, but there's a section in Blackened where he's like under the thrash beat. So yeah, I love And Justice for All. That's probably my favorite, actually.
You okay without the bass on it though?
I mean, it just is what it is. I've listened to the And Justice for Jason stuff that's online, but it's technically better, but it's the nostalgia is just it is what it is. You just have to deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a great sounding record despite the lack of bass.
Yeah,
Still,
yeah, yeah,
still very heavy and punchy, but almost proggy in a sense because a lot of those songs are super long.
for sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Beautiful, man. Thank you so much for the time. Can't wait to hear these tunes live at the Glasshouse next month.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Come say hello.
I
Hopefully, I'll
definitely
see you
will.
there.
Thanks,
Cool.
Josh.
All right. Take care, Mike. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye bye.